Hello learners, welcome back to the Design and Analysis of Algorithms lecture series. I Kirti Sharma am working as an assistant professor in ST Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. Today in this lecture we will discuss the sorting algorithms. Already we have discussed the selection sort algorithm, and today for this particular lecture we'll discuss insertion sort and quick sort algorithm. So let's start with the insertion sort algorithm. So sorting algorithm, we know why we need the sorting algorithm to sort our list of data in ascending order. We use the sorting algorithm. So insertion sort is also a in-place sorting algorithm. What is a in-place sorting algorithm actually? There is no need of auxiliary data structures while sorting. That means in-place algorithm, no extra storage is needed while during the sorting of the algorithm. The space whatever is given in the memory, it will update again and again, same position, same location and the same values at the same location, so no need to provide the extra space in the memory. That's why it is called as in place sorting algorithm. So it is mentioned over here, no auxiliary data structure while sorting. So it is basically inspired of the way which is we sort the playing cards. I hope all know about the playing cards. So during sorting of the playing cards we need the like it's very easy to sort it out, so it's inspired by the sorting of the playing card, this particular sorting algorithm. So how insertion sort works actually, let's consider an example. There are list of 5 elements given here, 6 to 11, 7, 5. So insertion sort works like, firstly it selects the second element, like minimum element. It always select the minimum element and it compare it with the first position of the element, like whatever is the first position. 6 is the first position. Now this minimum element will compare by the 6, is it less than it or greater than it. So it is mentioned over here 2 is less than 6. If it is less than, then it need to shift at the first location. So 6 towards right replaced and 2 is replaced at the place of 6. Now it will become as like this, like 2, 6, 11, 7, 5. This was the first step. So what about the next step? Next step, it select the third element. Why third element? Because here this element, before that at what place it was, like I'm just writing it into the array position, like 11, 7 and 5. Here I was there, let's assume it I, right? And I'm assuming it as LOC, location, right? So first element of this array or list. So or I compare this mean element, just I'm changing the variable name for the portability, like I'm considering it min mean, and this one is I. So mean is replaced by I. Now it will become as 2, 6, 11, 7 and 5. Now this mean is incremented by this. In the first step it was at the second, here this place. Now it shift on the right side and I will remain here only. Okay, I and mean. Now it will again compare, is 2 is greater than or less than. Less than. It's this one is on its right position, so no need to change. So what its mean result of list remains same in the second step. Next, third step, it will move on to the fourth. What it is, like this mean is pointing now 7. So now compare the 7. 7 is less than 2 or greater than 2? Greater than 2. So we will not see anything. So it will be like, now we will compare it, this 7 with what? 11. Why is it so? Now we have keep this particular thing as it is, but we have incremented it I value, right? So at the previous place, if we will do the increment here, in the previous, when we were on 11, when we were on 11 as a mean, 11 is greater than 6, so it will remain as it is. We have compared it with the both. Now a pointer of mean will come here at the 7. Now it will compare here, this will also incremented here. So now this will be your I. So it will indicate like 7 is less than 11. Yes, so it will replaced. So 7 will come over here and 11 will move there. So now the series will become as like this. Okay, again last point is, it will check 5, so minimum. Now it will compare it with the remaining ones, 6, 7, 11. So it is less than the all these three numbers, so it will come here, and these three numbers will shift in the right. Last is this. In the last step we will get here the ascending order of the elements here. So our target is take the minimum value element, compare it with the left elements. If it is minimum with all among all these remaining elements, then keep it on the left hand side, leftmost side, wherever is well suited position for that particular element. So next is we have algorithm. Like in the algorithm format, we have taken here A is an array with the n number of elements. Here we have taken a loop I. As I have already discussed in the example, I will increment from first position to the last one. It will do the increment. Then key is any variable it's taking here where the value of the I. Here I is taking the index only, and key of I will take the value at that particular index that we are taking in another variable key. Let's we have taken the mean as a variable name. Here it is taking the key. So it's up to you, whatever the variable you want to take, you can take yourself. It will not affect at all. Okay. So next, j increment. Decrement will be in the j. As we'll say, like j is another index value that we will use for the comparison, and we will do the condition check here, like it should be positive, and whatever the value of aj, it should be the greater than key. If it is greater than key, then do the simply increment in the j value, otherwise do the and do the decrement in the j value. Like aj value will shift on the right hand side. That's mean aj value will shift on the right hand side of the element, and in decrement will be there. Otherwise, if it is not true, then simply the key value will incremented by the next value of the aj plus 1, value of the aj plus 1. It's very simple. Here I is a variable of the traverse array. Key is a variable to store the new number to be inserted into the sorted subarray, and j variable used to traverse the sorted subarray. So now we're taking an example to get the better clarity. So same example I'm taking here, and it makes easy to understand. Like if anyone has still any doubt, so we will do this example with the help of algorithm now. So we have to divide the complete array into two parts, sorted subarray and unsorted subarray. Why is it so? Because after all, our main target is to make our array as a sorted array, right? So step 1, I'm just indicating here, I variable value is 1. I is the indexing element value, right? So now we will compare, like this one is the key element we are taking here. When we compare it, all the elements of the sorted subarray, then what it will be here? Step 2, it will replaced by the first element first of all. So now 2 will come here, 6 will come here. Now this part will become as a sorted subarray. Now our pointer, it will come here, key pointer, right? Now again in the third step, it will compare, like it greater than or less than. So it is greater than, so no any change, no need to change anything, so it will remain as it is. Now our pointer of the key will come here. Now this one is sorted according to the algorithm. So next, if it will compare 6, then it is minimum, like it is a minimum value compared to the these like these two values. Now what it will be do, like loop gets terminated as I value become 5. After that, no any element, no will you will not move further. The stated element will cover here, so this value will come here, and these two values will shifted into the right position. So this will be the final sorted subarray, right? So here, one element is placed at the correct location in the sorted subarray until array A is completely sorted. That is the main theme of this sorting algorithm. That take the minimum element and put it on its right position. Okay. So always take an element and put it on the right position of the in the particular list of the elements. Okay, so it was all about the insertion sort algorithm. Now the main thing is come here, how to find the time complexity analysis for the algorithm of insertion sort. Here we have taken like on the two nested loops, because there were the two nested loops in the algorithm I and j. Just moving back to the algorithm, yes, this one. So here there are the two algorithms, two loops are there in the algorithm. This will execute n number of times, right? So of course the statement will be there, it will also run n number of times, right? So here what it will be, this condition while loop is there, right? So this while loop will run, this while loop will also run a number of times. What it's mean here, again and again it will repeat the same thing up to when, like this condition will become false. So two, and it will also run these statements a number of times. So what it's mean, n order of n square will be the time, but everything which whatever is constant things we will ignore, we can ignore those things, right? So I value is like, if in the first step it will be 2 5 6 7, this one for loop, then it will come over here, then in the next step it will be shorted as like this, right? So here 7, it is 7. So I think it's very easy to understand, we have already covered all these things. So after all we will get in the last step as a sorted array. So when we'll compare it until the sub array will become sorted. So hence it was the insertion sort algorithm. I hope it is clear to all. We have covered the it with the help of example also. Now next is quick sort. So quick sort is a very important sorting algorithm from final exam point of view also. So this particular quick sort is the best sorting algorithm in case, like if your number of items available, number of elements available in the array are completely unsorted. In that case quick sort algorithm is the best algorithm. But it is, if it is already sorted element, there is already sorted elements in the list, then it is the worst sorting algorithm to use, because it is more time taking, and it will become very worst, it will give you the worst analysis at last, because it was already, it was already short in the sorted form. So you have to apply the quick sort algorithm when your number of elements whatever is present in the list are totally unsorted. Okay, so this used idea of divide and conquer approach, and it follows a recursive algorithm. So quick sort algorithm having some variables here that have the definition. A is a linear array in memory. BEG is the lower bound of the subarray, and E and D is the end upper bound of the subarray. Here lower bound and upper bound is indicating the beginning BEG, and upper bound indicating the last point, ending element of the array. Okay, so this is BEG and this one is ending position. Okay, and this is representing the total number of elements in the array. So memory will take. So algorithm start over here. So what it is means, first you have to partition the array, right? So with the help of array, number of the elements in the array, beginning point, ending point, and location that we will have. LOC you can take here as a pivot element. So pivot element you can take any element. So quick sorting algorithm performs well if you will take the pivot element either random, or you will take as a middle element the pivot element, but not compulsory, you can take any element as the pivot element, it's up to the user. Okay, so here after starting like partitioning the array, we will see the left hand side and right hand side of the array. uh, when we take the LOC or location, or you can say pivot point. So with this element we'll compare pivot element or location element, what is available on the left hand side and right hand side. It must be there, like whatever is present on the left hand side, it must be less than this element, and whatever is present on the right hand side, it should be the greater than. So now we will do the comparison by using the while loop, and we will set it the indexing value. So here we will compare it first, is it the right element or not, then we will set it as a true. Else if we will take here like it's greater than or not, it's greater than, then interchange, otherwise it will remain same thing. We will check it over here for the left hand element, left side element. If it is equals, then okay, not equals, then it will interchange. Then end of if, both the ifs, and end of the algorithm. So let's take an example to get the better clarity regarding the quick sort algorithm. First of all, it follows the recursive algorithm approach. Why is it so? We are dividing the array into the two sections by partitioning the element by that is called as a PERT, right? So the division performs in such that all the elements to the left side of the PERT smaller and right hand side greater. I have already mentioned it to you, right? So these two sections divided, the PERT is set at its right correct position. That is that should be important. That is important actually. Then after you are checking the subarray, and your shorted subarrays will present separately in the quick sort algorithm. So let's take an example here. This is an array which consists of 6 elements. Here indexing is available 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So according to the quick sort algorithm, initially take the left element, right element, and LOC. LOC stands for location, that you can say pivot element. Okay. So to the first element of the array, we are taking the pivot element. You can take anyone, but most of the time it will give the better clarity, better approach to take the pivot element as a middle variable. But now onwards, where it is just starting of the algorithm, I'm just assuming the first element itself as a pivot element or LOC element. This is the left hand side of the the array, and this one is the right hand side of the array. So we have set this location and left to the 0th index, this one, and right is 5, right? So indexing is represented here in these variables, and with the help of a here, we a0, it will give you the element whatever is present in the at that particular location. So what is the step 2 here? LOC points the left, so algorithm starts from right, moves towards the left. So from here it will start and it will come here in the left hand side. So we will each and every time compare the LOC element with the, sometime we will compare it with the right side, and sometime we will compare it with the left side. Opposite we have to compare. If your LOC is present on the left hand side, then we will compare it with the right side. If it is present somewhere into the on the right side, then we will compare it with the left hand side. So let's start here. So if we will compare this LOC value, this is 25, right, with the 28 last one. So 25, 28, which on the right side of the LOC is present this one 28, right? So is it great? It should be the greater than. Yes, it is greater than. Then no need to change anything. Just our point move here. LOC will remain as it is because there is no any change. But this right position will shift to the left hand side. So one step left hand side it will be there, right? So again we will compare that. It is the right hand side element, that is 20, that we are comparing at that particular time. Is it greater than or not? So it should be the greater than 25, but it is less than 25. So it's the point here to note down. So next step we will do the interchange here. 25 will come at this place and 20 will come at the place of 25. So interchange takes place. Now our LOC point also move with the 25, right? Now this has become the right and this one is the left here, right? So we are shifting the position only, we are not shifting the values here. Like if value of 25 will come here, LOC and right will come with the value here, right? So right is already there, LOC will come over here, it will remain as it is, right? So next point, now we have to compare this point. Now we have to check on the left hand side. So 20 should be the less than, when we compare it to the LOC element, yes, it is less than, then it's okay. Now move on to the next step. Now no need to move this particular position because LOC come here only now for that particular time. Previously, when LOC was there, you cannot move the left. Now LOC is on the right position, then you cannot move this particular position. You have to check it left hand side. Now left will move on to the right hand side. What it's mean? First we checked 20 is less than 25. Yes, true. Then it's okay. Now this point will come here. Like left will indicate over here. That means now we will compare this 10 with the 25. It should be the less than 25. Yes, it is less than. Then no need to worry. Just our left will move over here in the next step, and this thing will remain as it is. Okay. So now 30 will be compared with the 25 in the next step. 30 will compare with the 25. LOC value is 25. Whatever is present on the left hand side of the 25, it must be less than. So is it less than? No, it's greater than. Now time to interchange the values of the LOC or left and left. So interchange the value. 25 will come over here and 30 will come here. Now our LOC point will shift with the value here, this one. Now we don't need to move this left because LOC is present on the left now. So now you have to come in this side. You can move the right position. So sometimes you have to move the left to right, or sometimes you have to move from the right to left. So it depends on the LOC position actually. Wherever the LOC position in the opposite direction, we will move. So now we have to check it out, like whatever is present on the right position, that is 30, it must be the right, greater than 25. Is it greater than? Yes, it is greater than. Then it's okay. Now this right will move over here, right? This will come here. Now we will compare this 25 and 15. It should be greater than 25. Is it? No. Now again there is a need to interchange. So if we will compare these two values, then it is less than, but it should be the greater than because it's present on the right hand side of the LOC element, pivotal element. So we will interchange it. So 15 will come here, 25 will come here. Along with the 25, our LOC point also moves here, right? So again we have to check it, like whatever is present on the left hand side, this left is pointing at the 15. It should be the less than 25. Yes, it is less than 25. Then it's okay. Now we have to move this left to the right. Because of what? LOC point will remain fixed. This can move now. So our left and right position will become same at that particular time. So we will compare this value. It's 25, 25. So we will see that whatever is the pivotal element value, we have come across by after checking all the elements, we come here only for the same element comparison. So that is indicating we have already like we have already done with the sorting up to now. So next we have to move on to the like we have to check the left hand side and right hand side of the LOC element. Here all the elements present that side are less than, or this side greater than. So next point is come here. So at the same element, when these 3 points variable pointing at the same element, it indicates the termination of the procedure. So pivot element is decided here, it is 25, its final position. So up to now we have fixed the pivot element position. Now it's final here. You cannot you have not to it will not vary actually. So you no need to move that particular value here and there, because we find the fixed point value position for the pivot element. So in the quick sort algorithm, our first task is take the any random element as a pivot element, or location as a pivot element, and sort it out in that manner that whatever the elements present on the left hand side must be the less than that particular element, and whatever is present on the right hand side, it must be greater than. So when it becomes true, then you can say that element having the in the center position, that will be your pivot element, right? So first important point, fix the pivot element position. Then after, see the left hand side and right hand side, and by comparing the elements of the left hand side, we have to sort this subarray. By comparing the right hand side element, we have to sort these elements. Now it become easy to sort them, because we have already discussed like these elements will again compare themselves, like 10 will come here, 20 will come here, then again our point will come here. When we will compare in both, then 15 will come here, 20 will come here. It will be in the sorted form. Same here, 28 and 30. At last we will get here the sorted algorithm. So first thing, find the pivot element. Then it will make our task 50% easier. Our main target and most complicated thing that we have to focus on the first time in the beginning, to fix the position of the pivot element. Then it will be easy to sort the left subarray and right subarray. Okay, so in the same manner you will also sort, as like we have fix the position of the pivot element, you will fix the elements position on the left hand side and right hand side. So it was all about the sorting algorithm, quick sorting algorithm. So in the quick sort algorithm, splits of an array into 2 parts. It will take order of n operations. Why is it so? We have the n number of elements, and we have to compare each and every element in order to fix the pivot element, right? So that's why partitioning of the first position, partitioning of the like left hand side and right hand side, by fixing the pivot element, it will take it will take order of n time. It will take order of n times because we have the n number of elements to compare there. After that we have the left subarray and right subarray, right? So for the left subarray and right subarray, we have to compare like half of the subarray will be there, half of the subarray will be there, right? So we are comparing it. If I am just taking here like an example, it will take log n times. So by taking the both of things, the time complexity of the quickshot will become order of n log n. So this was the introductory part. Like I'm taking an example here, by with the help of recursion tree, it will help you to find out the like how we are finding the time complexity over here, right? So I'm taking here an example to give you the better clarity. So here 1 to 15 elements you have to sort it out, right? I'm just taking this and I'm dividing it into the two part. I'm taking the 8 as an element as a middle element, and 1 to 7 I'm taking here at the left hand side, and 9 to 15 I'm taking here only. Now again I'm dividing it into the two parts. This pivot element is fixed, it's okay. Now we have to sort this left subpart, subarray, and right subarray. Now again divide it. What will be the center point element will be there? Middle. 1 plus 7 is, it will be 4. So first we have to take care of left hand side 1 to 3, and on that side what it will be there? 5 to 7, right? There will be the element 5 to 7. Next again if you will short it out, you will get over here 1, then 3. 2 will be the pivot element, right? Again there will be the 2 points like 5, 6 will be the pivot element, 7 will be there. In the same manner you will terminate here left hand side as well as right hand side up to the last point. So what are you doing over here? Here it will take n. So total, the if you will do the total will be the n elements only, na? On this particular level, how many elements? Of course n. Each and every level having the same number of elements, but we have divided them only. Now in applying the like what is the depth of this tree, recursive tree? Of course we are dividing it by half. So we have already discussed this type of problem in the recurrence relation problem. Like if we are dividing n divided by 2, so what it means? Divided by 2 and divided by 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 3, up to 2 raised to power k. So we have to assume it equals to 1. We have already seen this example. If you have not covered the previous lectures, so first see the recurrence relation lecture, then it will give you the better clarity here. Now after comparing, n is equals to become 2 raised to power k, and your k will be the log n. So how many times, how many elements here and each and every level? N. And how many times it is executing? Total log n times, right? Depth of the tree, height of the tree will be log n. So the complete time complexity will be n number of the element to execute n number of elements. How much time we have to recursively execute the same thing? Log n times. That's why the order of n log n will become the time complexity of the quickshot. So it is the best time like best analysis, best case to split the partition and take the shorted elements by using the quickshot algorithm. So it is the best case analysis here. What about the worst case? Like if you are dividing these things and applying the ascending order, and you are getting the last element as a pivot element after comparing all the things, and again you are comparing the left subpart completely. If there are the lots of numbers, then it will be the very hectic. So it will take order of n square then, right? So worst case order of n square, and best case n log n. So it's better there. Here two takeaways are there from the quickshot. First, if you will take the middle value as a pivot element, it will be better, or you can take the random position, random element, right? So if you will take the middle one as a pivot, then it will make your task easier in order to make the worst case and convert it into the best case itself. So if you are taking any element, as we have previously taken in the example 25 as an element, and we have put it into the center mid position, in order to partition the left subarray and right subarray, it makes our task easier. So if you will not do the same thing, it may possible worst case time complexity will be there. Answer will remain same. After all, you will be able to sort the array, but it will be more time consuming, and it will give you the best case analysis. That's why in order to convert the worst case into the best case, it's better to take the mid element as a pivot element. Okay, so it was all about the quick short. There are some advantages or disadvantages of the quick short also. Advantage is that it has the in place sorting algorithm, so no temporary memory is there, no need of the temporary memory, and it's faster for in case of totally unsorted array is given to you, right? So it's excellent use of the memory hierarchy like virtual memory or cache. It will replace the same memory location again and again, rather than taking the new memory place. So it makes our task easier, less memory time taking, and less space taking, and temporarily storage no need. So auxiliary space is there is no need. So in place algorithm is there. So by dividing and conquer nature, we can parallelly execute the sub arrays in order to sort the elements. So these are the advantages of the quick sort. So what about the drawbacks? The if you talk about the worst case analysis, that is order of n square, that makes our sorting task very lazy, and this complexity worse than the n log n. So n log n is the best case. So we will, if we will compare it in the merge sort, heap sort, it is the worst. Like this complexity is worse than the n log n, right? So it is not a stable sorting. What is the meaning of the stable sorting here? The order of equal elements may not be preserved. If you have the same number of elements in an array, for example, I'm taking here 10, 10, 10, 10. There are the 4 elements in the array to sort. All are same elements, right? So it will, like, it will be not a stable sorting. So it will not be able to like sort this type of elements in less time. So uh, that's why it's called as a quick sort. Stable, it's not a stable sort here, right? So order of the element is indicated by the indexing value here, and here the order will not, cannot be, may not be preserved by the quick sort algorithm in case of the same elements. Okay, so that is the main drawback of the quick sort algorithm. We will further use some algorithm in the next lecture. We will discuss like merge sort algorithm, heap sort algorithm. So stay tuned with the lectures. We will do the remaining sorting algorithms in the next lecture. So thank you. Have a nice day.